The Theory and Practice of Historical Martial Arts, written by Guy Windsor, narrated by Kelley Costigan. For my wife Michaela, love always. Introduction. I think it all began at the fencing club at Edinburgh University in 1992, when Charlie Napier ran down the fencing strip at me. His foil was held across his body with the point way back behind him. I extended my arm, and he ran his body onto my point as his foil flicked around, the blade bending in a graceful arc and tapping me harmlessly on the shoulder. Both lights went off, and the president called the hit for Charlie. Because he started moving forwards first, he had priority, and his suicidal approach took precedence over my safe, careful, and lethal response. I'd been fencing for 5 years at school, but there we had always followed a much stricter interpretation of the International Fencing Federation's rules, leading to a much more classical and cautious style of play. But when Charlie got given point after point, I realized that the modern sport of fencing was completely unrealistic and had practically nothing in common with its martial roots anymore. A little while later, I was at a local competition and got talking to a beginner fencer, Paul, who had taken up the sport a few weeks earlier and was already becoming disillusioned with it. We got together in Holyrood Park under Salisbury Crags, and with épées and fencing masks set about trying to kill each other in a realistic manner. Proper hits, no suicidal running about, treat the swords like they are sharp, and bugger the modern rules. My grandpa had been a fencer, but he died when I was only 13. I'd had a couple of lessons off him, but nothing serious. The next time I went down to London to see my granny, I dug through Grandpa's books and found Alfred Hutton's The Sword and the Centuries. In it, Hutton refers to dozens of old books written in the days when swords were used for real. This set me off on a quest to find some of these books, and I set to work figuring out how sword fighting should be done. It has always been obvious to me that people who fought for real are more likely to know how to fight than us modern folk trying to figure it out from scratch. And one day, in the National Library of Scotland, I found Donald MacBain's The Expert Swordman's Companion. This glorious little book begins with 70 pages or so of autobiography. And what a life he led, duelling, gambling, whoring and soldiering his way across Europe under Marlborough at the turn of the 18th century, which was followed by a very practical treatise on sword fighting and a set of instructions for gunnery. Before long, my friends...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?